Usually houses that look solid require a large amount of expensive building materials. Because of this, traditional construction is very costly. These structures are heavy, requiring intensive foundation work and careful base preparation. This frameless house is about 90% foam board, making it very light and needing only a simple, inexpensive foundation. A frameless house built from extruded polystyrene foam could be the next step in ultra-cheap construction. If I had thought of this solution earlier, I might have carried out my $1,000 house project using this kind of frameless method. The absence of a frame allows the construction costs to be reduced even further. Walls and roofs made in this way are significantly lighter, probably lighter than any walls and roofs in traditional construction methods. They are surprisingly strong from the beginning. At the same time, thanks to the properties of extruded polystyrene foam as a very effective insulator, they turn out to be quite warm and do not require additional insulation. This construction method is more efficient than frame construction, much simpler than building with blocks and bricks, many times lighter than monolithic construction, and more energy efficient than building with logs. Also, building such a house is possible with the bare minimum of tools. You can build it in an open field, even without electricity. Houses made from extruded polystyrene foam can be built gradually, adding blocks or rooms as needed. The construction is very simple and easy, so even women and children can handle it. Affordable building materials are used and available at any hardware store. These structures' walls can be easily decorated with many finishing materials. Minimal work and resources, maximum square footage as a result. As usual, viewers of the Pesny Yashiko Shaka channel are the first to learn this important information. We follow a narrow forest road and arrive at the spot. The first impression is that there was some brick or block construction involved here. It's cold, but that's not snow. It's warm, extruded polystyrene foam crumbs. I wouldn't mistake them for anything else. Up close, the house even looks like it's made of solid concrete. The house sits on a hill, providing a beautiful view of the area. From here, the neighbor's property resembles a forest homestead. It rained for over a day, so it's very damp. And now, let's go over everything in order. Hello everyone, meet the owner's cats. And here is the owner himself, Denis, a resident of St. Petersburg, together with his wife Irina, on a large plot of land in the Pskov region, not far from the border with our Belarus. They began building their country residence, which they gradually plan to move into completely, trading the hustle and bustle of the big city for a measured village life. I arrived here with my friend and affordable construction advocate, Konstantin from the Batina Usadba channel. Konstantin is a bit afraid of heights, so he didn't dare to climb onto the not yet finished roof made of extruded polystyrene foam, but I took the risk. I really believe in the strength of the material. Konstantin once tried to make a load-bearing beam from extruded polystyrene foam, but didn't follow the proper method. The beam broke under his weight. Maybe that's why he's afraid of heights now. So how did the idea to build such a unique house come about?
Well, I started exploring YouTube, and there I came across several people who build with extruded polystyrene foam. And then the idea came to me, why not give it a try? So basically, it worked out. Everything worked out. The first layer is done for now. We'll keep working on it. There are a lot of options for decorating. You can use decorative plaster. You can draw bricks, stones, so your imagination can really run wild here. Decorative panels. There are a lot of decorating options.
And tell me, please, what's the size of the house?
At the moment, I ended up with 575 by 575. The ceiling height under the ridge is 240. At the corner of the house, it's 2 meters 20 centimeters. The wall thickness is 5 centimeters, and the foundation turned out to be 20 centimeters by 20 centimeters. Everything is done using a very simple method, meaning the foundation is without reinforcement. All the stones that I dug up here by hand, everything I dug up, I put all the stones back in. Basically, my foundation cost me exactly 5,000 rubles.
Super. And tell me, the roof, what most people on this planet are interested in? How did you make the roof?
I made the roof very simply. On this side, on the outside, and on the inside, I have 2-inch thick boards. Just inch thick boards, 25 by 100. It's screwed on from both sides, and a rafter system is made every 60 centimeters along the entire length. On top, I just laid extruded polystyrene foam glued together with regular mounting foam using a gun fastened with 75mm screws through regular washers. I added a washer to the screw. So that the clamping area would be larger, I decided it wasn't necessary to use special nails in this system, the so-called umbrellas for extruded polystyrene foam.
It's cheaper this way, right?
Yes, it's much cheaper, and I don't see any reason to use them here. Plus, we don't carry them in our store. That's why the washers that sell for a ruble each worked really well here. I bought 400 of them, and I still have about 250 left.
The savings are obvious.
But I'll use them for the next project. I still have to build another workshop and a bathhouse.
You can really feel the warmth here. It's much warmer than outside, even though I haven't installed the heating yet. And is the floor insulated or not?
The floor isn't insulated, it's just done on a budget here. The cement is mixed about 1:4 or 1:5. The layer is about 2 centimeters thick.
2 centimeters?
Just 2 centimeters right on the sand. So I'll see if it's really warm here, like really warm, then I'll just lay tiles. If there are tests in the cold, like -25 or 27, and I realize the floor is cold, I'll put extruded polystyrene here, 30mm, and then I'll do a screed on top, and then put tiles over that too. You can immediately tell where the regular can is. Here's a regular can, regular construction foam. I'm working with a gun. Using construction foam with a regular nozzle here isn't an option. Only the gun can properly control the dosage. We saw the roof extension from the outside. It's the same here, just regular 1-inch boards. There are regular 1-inch boards on the rafters. The wind load here is strong. We've had hurricanes here. My door wasn't installed yet, and 3 panels weren't installed either. The wind was blowing so hard here, I thought the roof would be torn off. We had hurricanes for 5 days, but as you can see, nothing was torn off. Although my neighbors have already come over and called this structure.
To sympathize, right?
Yes, the structure of Nuff Nuff and Naf Naf, everything will be blown away. It's a very lightweight structure, but in fact, everything holds together just fine. You can walk, run, and jump on the roof without any problem. So it's not finished here yet. Everything is still in progress. That's why the roof will be even more reinforced. Regular, also plastered with mesh and painted on top with latex vinyl paint, frost resistant and moisture resistant paint. I'm perfectly ready for such experiments, so go ahead and experiment. You can always try something new. If it doesn't work out, look for other options if you're tired of the standard ones. You can always take a risk. I took a risk myself. I really like it, and it's very budget friendly.
What's the cost as of today?
At this point, I've spent about 75,000. That includes the foundation at 5,140 panels of extruded polystyrene, along with the mixes, mesh, cans of mounting foam, guns, and self-tapping screws. So, about 75,000, 75 to 78.
For a structure nearly 6 by 6?
Yes, that's right.
Is the foundation 6 by 6?
Yes, the foundation is 6 by 6, but inside it's 575 by 575 as usual.
A double garage is big, right?
Yes, I had it planned.
The summer house is nice.
Partitions here will be very secure.
Well, definitely.
Here's the door, and behind you there will be 2 more windows installed. All of this, as you can see, fits in easily. The doors in the frame are homemade. This bottom brace will be unscrewed. Everything is in place, everything is fine. The frame is also just set on mounting foam. I didn't use screws in this direction. I simply assembled the frame right away with the trim on the outside and glued it in. My neighbor gave me this stove as a gift. It's free, but the stove is brand new. So what do we have there?
It's almost zero waste.
Yes, because all of this can be reused.
It needs to be scraped.
What did you use? Did you scrape it?
Me? Well, as usual, I looked for ideas and added my own. I took a regular saw, cut it into 2 parts, one for myself, one for my wife, and that's it. And so, the 2 of us sat there and scraped like this through 140 sheets. That's how we did 140 sheets on both sides.
So you used around 11 packs for this, right? No, not 11, it's a 5-pack.
Not 11. There are 8 pieces in a pack, so that means
Well, 20, roughly speaking.
20 and...
Even less than 20. 19.
yeah, something like that. I went twice, borrowed my neighbor's big trailer, and drove with it.
You have good neighbors who give you all you need.
Of course, Belarusians.
I'll take a few minutes of your time and tell you how we ended up at this interesting construction site. On a cold, rainy morning in late October, I got into a recently repaired old Dodge and left my native Homel district, heading north on the E95 highway. Soon I reached the outskirts of Mahilio and entered the city. Here I have to pick up my friend Konstantin. He set out here from his village in the Chervian district of the Minsk region in an old Toyota that had recently been put back on the road. He still hasn't dared to take a long trip in his fast vehicle.
Poor Dodge.
How many seats?
9, including me. Oh, this isn't just dirt. It overheated on the road. I opened it and rust poured out.
Today?
No.
Leather driver's seat.
Basically, this is the first time taking it out.
Yeah, there's already something with the antifreeze. You see the interior? Maybe we should drive it. There's a chance we won't make it, and the brakes. The dark headliner is an option. The sill is a bit loose. There's also a bent screw there.
Most likely it needs to be fixed. We need to drive out first. In order to go, we need to get out, so here we go, you see, and now it's taking us out. It's called a navigator, look, and you've got some kind of crap. I pressed here and... in Mogilev, you see, there are wind turbines, like in the States. It's more like the Mogilev state. We're back on the E95 highway, the road that connects Odessa with St. Petersburg. It even cleared up briefly. Vitebsk welcomed us with rain. We drove around the city, which I hadn't visited in a long time. The Western Dvina.
It seems to have gotten shallow. Really, it's gotten shallow.
That's the Slaviansky Bazaar. The amphitheater where the Slaviansky Bazaar festival is held. The pyramid. Marco City. A lot of equipment. Back on the E95 and the weather's clearing again.
To our health.
Rodati. It's lunchtime.
This is a different gas station. I mean, you have Gazprom, and this is Gazprom Neft.
Come on, are they different? And here we are in Russia's neighbor, in the Pskov region. We've arrived in Nibel. Come on, get out. Go take a look at the very center. Get out, the very center. The city of Nabel. We have just a little bit left and we'll be there.
To the right or to the the left?
Yes, to the right. I've probably never driven on such a smooth dirt road before. It stabilizes and connects several villages with a school bus serving them. It's regularly graded, which is the secret to its smoothness.
Which one did you use? 5x5?
I used 5x5 mesh, but some mesh isn't that size.
This mesh is actually 2x2 millimeters, and usually
I checked the marking there.
What's the density?
it's really cheap, something like 60 or 65 grams per meter, something like that. Yeah, so it's not even alkali resistant or anything. It's just a regular fiberglass plaster mesh.
And we use 160 grams per square meter and 5x5. It's much denser there.
Yeah, well, I bought a roll of this cheapest mesh for 1,080 rubles. The roll is 50 meters.
That's very cheap.
And I used up, there were 4 rolls, and one is left for the roof here. So 4 rolls will be used here, and the mesh and this plaster are also included in the 75,000.
So, have you already calculated everything?
Absolutely everything. I have notes there.
And how much lumber was used?
I bought the lumber, went and bought the boards. I used 5,000 for half a cubic meter, and I still have some left.
Only half a cubic meter was used?
Yeah, less than half a cubic meter. I bought several 6-meter long 1-inch boards, and right away I bought a 4-meter one at the sawmill, so I wouldn't go over budget because of cuts and leftovers. Here, each rafter is about 3 meters long, and almost a meter was cut off from it. And I bought 4-meter boards so I wouldn't overpay for leftovers. And I ended up with half a cubic meter, but used less. But there's still a stack over there, which is half of that half a cubic meter. That's about how it turns out.
What glue and mixture did you use, and what did you apply to the walls and plaster with?
Glue? I chose. My main idea is to use the cheapest materials possible for everything. For the toilet, I actually used aerated concrete glue. It costs only 170 rubles for a 20-kilogram bag, and my garden beds are also made with aerated concrete glue. Both inside and outside, everything is plastered with it. Here I already bought glue. I don't remember the brand, I need to check the bag. It's actually a cement plaster, frost resistant and moisture resistant.
It's not even glue.
It's actually plaster. Yeah, I'm plastering right away.
You broke all the rules.
Absolutely all of them, both imaginable and unimaginable. By the way, I wanted to show you something. So far, we've come to the point that inside, there's this kind of spot. We're gonna make something like this. We're already trying out different interior finishing options.
Like a textured finish, right?
We apply the textured finish, let it set, then smooth it with a trowel to get the result.
It also reinforces pretty well.
Yeah, it will reinforce from both sides.
Everything comes in bags, but what if you mix sand, cement, and lime yourself?
I haven't tried.
So it can actually be made even cheaper.
It's possible. Everything is possible, but since, so to speak, I'm pressed for time.
Do you have some kind of deadlines?
No, it's just that the cold weather is coming soon. Well, I can put it this way. I build even when it rains. There were rains. I was assembling the roof. Here I tried to do the same thing with the plaster, but since I was missing these 3 panels, I did it in the evening. In the morning it started to rain, or rather, it started to rain that same evening, and all my efforts were washed away, so I quickly finished the roof. And we continued our experiments in the same direction.
You planned this as an experiment, right? That's what I understood.
Yes, it was a real experiment that led me to this structure, and I really liked it.
But you didn't start with the house right away, did you? I came to it gradually.
Yes, because, as they say, you learn from your mistakes. I made garden beds. I made a lot of mistakes there. Then I took them into account, built a toilet, and realized how, after building the toilet, I already understood how to make the roof here and how to tie the corners. I already figured it out. At this point, I mean, before that, I made a lot of mistakes with the garden beds, and here I already improved. So, when building a second workshop or a similar house, I will already know how to make it even better. How to make the roof higher, how to make the slope bigger, meaning not sharp, but almost flat. Actually, I had the idea to make this wall 2 meters 20, and this wall 3 meters, and to make a single pitch roof. That was actually my first idea. So that later on I could attach the same kind of structure, 575 by 575, to make a second roof and expand it. Again, I'll need a garage. That's why I had the idea to make a sloped roof, so that next year I could add a garage.
And where did this dampness come from?
This dampness again is, so to speak, extruded polystyrene foam. It doesn't let water through, but the mounting foam will let water through.
That is up there. It's not protected by anything yet.
It's not protected yet. Here I finished these 3 panels, but I haven't sealed the seams yet. Here, as you can see the seams, I've already sealed the seams here with the same plaster, and it's dry here.
So it's not even waterproofing, just plaster.
This plaster is moisture resistant, it's moisture resistant.
Friends, I want to warn you. Many of the ultra-cheap and effective construction methods introduced on the Pesniyashi Koshaka channel are experimental and need to be tested, at least over time. And as you already understand, Denis is an even more daring experimenter than I am. So, repeating anything you see is entirely your own responsibility and conscience. Because the risks can be different. For example, I doubt claims about these structures' short lifespan and unreliability, but I am confident in their durability and reliability. This could take away traditional builders' livelihoods and reduce construction companies' business as more people build their own houses. So think carefully before you take any action.
That is fully frameless construction. Oh, and I also had to count a few rolls of masking tape. I used 2 sheets. Everything was done without screws. I just glued 2 sheets together, and to keep them attached to each other, I simply stuck strips of masking tape on them. I did the second row the same way. I set up the second row, glued it with mounting foam, and just glued them together.
For the time of fixation?
Yes, I just fixed it with regular masking tape.
Wow, and you also need to subtract the electricity used to charge the battery for the plastering, of course.
So everything is done without any screws at all. Screws are only used for mounting.
So basically, without any tools?
Yeah, you actually can...
Bare hands.
My wife actually glued a few rows herself. She would come over, and while I was gluing on this side, she was gluing on the other side. So it's such a lightweight material, so even kids... My older son came over and helped me. I mean, even a kid could... He's 14, so even a kid can do it. You don't need any electricity. Nothing at all here. You can just bring the materials, a nail gun, some tape, a foam gun, and put it all together right in an open field without any electricity. You could say you can build yourself a temporary shelter and live in it comfortably.
Do you need a higher degree in engineering or construction for that?
What? I don't have any construction education at all. Well, I did some apartment renovations. I understand things more or less, and I've come to the conclusion that...
And how will the firefighters react to all your...
By the way, my friend said it will burn really well. I specifically left a piece of mesh plastered over. I'll plaster it a second time and then burn the finished material. I want to burn it with a torch and see how it goes. I believe to...
I heard you have some experience?
Of course, nearly.
Pyromaniac?
Firefighter? A real firefighter. He worked at the fire station for almost 15 years.
So you were directly involved in putting out fires, so firefighters recommend it?
X's.
By the way, I had another idea. I'm thinking about how to make, well, not shelves, but a mount for this. The one I'll use to hang my tools like wrenches and pliers.
At this point, I should clarify that Denis is, of course, a risk taker who loves experiments, but he's got a good head on his shoulders. That's why for now he's focused on building a heated, all-season workshop for his creativity. Although it's about the size of a small summer house.
Here's a tip. Special self-tapping screws and dowels for extruded polystyrene foam have existed for a long time.
Denis and his wife Irina plan to build a permanent home from Penoplex after thoroughly checking all systems. And I hope it's not far off.
Maybe I'll find it now. I want to try ones like these, just bigger.
Yeah, even the plastic ones hold up pretty well.
Yeah, but there are also metal ones. These are for drywall. So, experiments are ongoing in general. You can experiment in any direction here. There were also ideas to, for example, use boards on both sides. That is, to put a rail here and a rail on the other side, but I decided against it because this is frameless construction. Again, I had a question about the electrical work, how to run the wiring. I saw in one video, again on the internet, people take a heat gun and simply burn out a groove for the wire, and then put the wire in a conduit, and then they just cover it with putty. And as a result, you get a built-in outlet. You can make a surface-mounted one, but the wire will be inside the wall and in a conduit, in a metal one, but regular plastic will work too.
Listen, you don't have to use a heat gun. You can use a plumbing soldering iron. You make a loop there, screw it on, it heats up, and you cut it right away.
Yeah, me too.
The pipe's planned diameter.
Yeah, I have a soldering iron too. I solder as well, so you can experiment in any direction here. There will probably be a stove here as well. Well, most likely there will be a stove. And for the experiment, I'll tile this wall. That is, I'll make a backsplash behind the stove as an experiment. So this is cement plaster tile adhesive for heated floors. It will hold.
Well, it seems to us that you're the first person who built such a large frameless house using this method. With a gable roof. Definitely the first one on YouTube.
By yourself.
Maybe even in the world.
I'm curious myself.
What will you use to insulate this building?
Extruded polystyrene foam inside and out. Here I have some formwork lying around. I'm going to reuse it. I already have templates. Here's a formwork template. I just took it out to the field, assembled it there, poured the foundation, and that's it. And I started assembling in the field without electricity.
You plan to cover the whole field with houses like this?
Well, yes, because it's necessary. We also need to build a second workshop for my wife. We need a bathhouse, I need a garage, a guest house, and we still need the main house. So there will be more construction here, a lot of construction. We'll have to ask for a discount at the store.
The land of extruded polystyrene foam.
Yeah, I thought I'd call it that too.
Extruded polystyrene land.
Yeah.
By the way, here's the board I bought. That's half a cubic meter of boards, and this is what I have left. Even 0.25 cubic meters will reach the roof here. You can count it on your fingers.
Yeah, you can count the boards one by one.
Yeah, I'll list the specific materials a bit later, because I'm keeping records there. How many cans I used, how much tape, how many screws, what kind of screws, how many sheets of extruded polystyrene foam. Everything is being counted, because you need to understand the exact estimate, how much you'll need from start to finish, from scratch.
Good job, similar to me, but I didn't write or count anything.
Well, I'm just interested in how it turns out money-wise. So, a structure like this, 5x75, already insulated and warm, costs up to 100,000 rubles.
Or even 6x6. It's much warmer there than here.
Well, yeah, we're not freezing.
The three of us breathed in there.
We haven't even started heating yet.
In 15 minutes.
Oh, I forgot to mention, in structures like this, it will be warm. It'll work like a thermos. Later on, I'll figure out the supply ventilation, because this is a workshop where there will be dust and welding work. There will definitely be ventilation issues, so ventilation will be installed. Most likely there will be a supply vent somewhere here, and some kind of ventilated cap will be installed on the roof as well.
Ever considered building log houses with extruded polystyrene foam?
What? Twist it, right? By the way, here's the mix. It's the cheapest one. Here's Etalon. It's frost resistant, moisture resistant, and non-shrinking. It was used, and I already used...
So this is enough for another house.
20 bags like this. This kind of Etalon. I used 20 bags, 19. There's one left.
So you can get even better quality and it'll be just awesome.
A bag of high-quality mix costs 900 rubles, one bag. This one costs 230. These torn ones, I actually got them at the store for 200 rubles because the packaging was torn. I got them even cheaper.
You tore them even more.
Here's the gray cement finish plaster, and I also got this. It's a cement finish putty, and it's white.
It should cost more in theory, right?
Yeah, I got it for 200 rubles because the packaging was damaged. At first I bought 10 packs, then I bought 10 more. You can even do...
So I ended up saving on delivery.
Of course, you can do this for years because extruded polystyrene foam can just sit out in an open field. It rains and nothing will happen to it. It can even survive the winter, snow will cover it, and it will all make it through the winter just fine. I could just leave it at this stage right now, basically, and leave, then come back after the winter. Finish it later. Nothing will happen.
Come back after the winter, fix the roof.
Nothing will happen to it.
Nothing will happen.
Find the walls out there in the field.
Yes, and here are the tests. When the hurricanes hit, I thought this overhang would get torn off. There was a hurricane for 5 days straight. I thought the overhang would break, maybe snap off right here. But after 5 days, it held up, and the whole grove was bending like this.
Will this overhang be cut off?
Yes, it will. I made it 10 centimeters everywhere. So all of this will be cut off, and again, the material will remain. I'll glue something together from it. I don't know, maybe make some nightstands or a shelf to put everything on. They found it where it burned. It's a shell casing that's been cut.
It was used as a mug.
Probably. Blanks, you see? They're empty, meaning they dug up the knife somewhere. Here's another one in them. These, and they're not even fired. See, the base is intact, not even dented, but it's empty. Some kind of thing, too? I don't know what it's from.
And what's this?
This is a magazine from a Spagen submachine gun. It goes in like this. From a Spagen submachine gun. I also dug up this skull somewhere. There's a lot of these. See, this is an axle from a wagon.
It's still forged.
Yeah, and most likely it was blown up. You find a lot of things like this here. A plowshare from this? Well, from a tractor, yeah. What else do we have? Well, rings. From barrels, too. The neighbor over there walks around digging for metal. He collects metal. Tracks from tractors are found here, from the tracked ones. Grandfather and grandson.
There is a garden bed made of foam board. 3 garden beds made of foam board.
3 garden beds.
Made of foam board.
Yeah, I needed to tidy up here. We're filming as it is. Yeah, we harvested from them, really. The zucchinis just kept coming and coming. It all started simple, and we took all our mistakes into account.
This is the first job, right?
Yes, this is actually my very first job, and it turned out completely different from how I wanted. And I didn't plan it that way. Well, again, you learn from your mistakes. At first you do something, then you realize you can improve it somehow. So on the second bed, it turns out a bit better. And by the third bed, it gets even better. Here again, everything is standing. This part is plastered. The end here isn't plastered. All of this will definitely survive more than one winter. It won't fall apart.
What did you use to cover this here?
And here, in this case, over there I used cement plaster, and here I used adhesive for aerated concrete. It was 20 kilograms, cost 160 rubles. It's specifically adhesive for aerated concrete. That's why, well, I started practicing with these kinds of materials. Everything is standing. Everything will make it through the winter. It will remain here under the open sky. Actually, I was planning to build a greenhouse here with a wooden frame so that it would be a real greenhouse with warm beds. By the way, there's still a cucumber lying over there. Branches are filled inside. I had some bushes there. I cut them down. Well, actually, my son cut them down with a chainsaw. The branches are packed in. Then the grass was mowed and put inside. I put the fertile layer of soil back on top. And we went to an abandoned state farm and collected some black soil. So everything grows here on black soil. Well, the corners. By the way, again, all my mistakes. So here, the corners on top cracked because I didn't cut the joints here and drove in 150mm screws. Again, I was testing how all of this would hold together. Take the volume again. There's a lot of soil here, 45 centimeters above ground, and I buried 15. So we watered. It's simple, very simple. There's a well over there. We just used a hose, flooded it right up to the edges like this, and nothing fell apart.
Where's the well?
It's over there in the grass, and we just didn't use watering cans. And we filled the barrels because sometimes the well would run dry. Otherwise, we just threw in a hose and filled them right up to the edges with water. So I was worried that it would crack, that it would split like this. But experience showed that they can easily handle that volume.
It's still a bit crooked here.
Yes.
Each garden bed is getting straighter and straighter.
This is the first garden bed. This is the second one. And this one was already the third.
The third one is the most precise.
That's why I'm saying that my garden beds turned out really crooked. And why did they turn out crooked? Because if you take a look at the whole plot, at that time I didn't have a single flat spot at all. I glued it right on the ground. However the ground went, that's how I glued it. Right now I have...
Everyone knows the earth is round.
Yeah, not everyone. Now I have a shed with a flat floor, so I can glue things evenly there and bring the panels here to assemble. There will be more garden beds here. This year I'll glue together more beds so they can overwinter. So there will be more beds here and more over there. Oh, look at that zucchini. Here's another one, but it's already dying because it's freezing. That's for feeding the raccoons. Here's another one and another. The raccoons will eat well. We actually fed half the village with these zucchinis. We gave zucchinis from our garden bed. And she took our zucchinis, went to school, and put them on display. They had a contest there about zucchinis. Well, about what people grow in their gardens. And with our zucchinis, she took second place at school. The first try was a flop. And so, through the garden beds, I learned how to do this technique, like how to scrape, how deep to scrape, a lot or a little, then how to glue the mesh, how to put on the putty. And so the garden beds turned out kind of ugly, but by the third bed, I started to get it.
She started to understand you.
Yes, the technique was learned, and then we moved on to the toilet.
It looks like when it comes to the size of the toilet, you outdid all the builders of toilets made from extruded polystyrene foam.
You need to go there in comfort.
With comfort, you mean together?
Yes, you can go together. With those dimensions, 120 by 180, you can go together. You can even put a table there and have some tea.
Panoramic window.
But it's not finished here either. I still haven't finished the trim here and here as well. I finished the trim here, but...
Is this your second project after the garden beds?
Yes, this is where everything started to come together. The roof is Penaplex, simply glued. The handle is temporary for now. There will be a trim here. Everything will be finished. What surprised me was the weight of the door without plaster. I weighed it, and it was about 2.5 or 3 kilograms. I made the frame itself 30 by 30. Well, for the extruded polystyrene foam sheet, 30 by 30. I glued it in there, and you could just lift it with your hands. It was a very light door. Now it weighs much more. Because there are 2 layers of plaster and bricks made, I made a stencil, took a medium density fiberboard sheet, the back panel from a cabinet, you know, they're called medium density fiberboard. I cut out bricks with a jigsaw and made myself a big stencil so I could draw large bricks at once. And I just mixed cement, liquid cement, even without sand, just cement. I applied it, spread it, and peeled it off.
So it's not economical. Liquid cement.
Well, a bag of cement is 50 kilograms, 520 or 550 rubles. And I used up 50 kilograms. Yeah, basically a whole bag was used.
50 kilograms.
Well, yeah, so I don't think it's that expensive. So the roof is 3 sheets. It's plastered. There's also plaster here on top, and everything is painted with regular latex vinyl paint for facades. For the glass, I took a double glazed unit, just cut the sealant with a knife, and installed it with regular foam. Everything is just set in foam. Tile is planned for the floor. It will be here. There will also be ventilation to remove odors. Everything has been purchased. As usual, the little things are left for last. Ira told me I come up with something. I want to do something. And a week later, on the channel I watch, all of that is already being done. I just think about it, and there it's already happening because...
We receive your signals.
Yes, that's what I thought, because Ira said, let's make a closet for the shed out of foam board, because nobody else has anything like that. Specifically a closet for clothes, so I can hang my work clothes there. So basically it'll be a warm closet. What surprises me most here is that people drive all kinds of cars, but nobody has their suspension serviced. They drive rattling cars. When a foreign car passes, everything knocks and rattles like a junker, but it's not.
Dear colleague, we've brought you some small construction gifts.
Oh, thank you.
Real Panaplex, orange. Panaplex. This is material for a whole new plunge pool, which we hope you'll make.
Thank you. Or a cabinet.
Or a cabinet. 30 here.
Thank you very much. I'll take it.
Yeah, I'll give it to you as a gift. Here you go. Even though the packaging is a bit worn out, you won't need to... You'll forget what it's like to scrape or scratch.
By the way, I haven't used one like this yet, but you can't find one like this in our store, by the way.
I brought you something rare, only featured on the Batina Usadba channel.
Thank you very much. We'll experiment with it too.
Guys, did you notice that the house made from extruded polystyrene foam turned out to be just as good, if not better, than the house made from classic logs?
I've come across classic logs in my life before, but I don't want to remember that anymore.
It'll just get in the way there.
What will he take first? Of course, he took first what was closer to his worldview. he realized which one was better. The final hours. And these shots clearly show that a truly passionate person can handle anything. Denis was planning a flat area for his house on his very uneven plot. He ran into a boulder. There are a lot of them here. And this one apparently turned out to be the tip of an underground mountain peak and just couldn't be removed from the ground. But this peak didn't stop an enthusiastic person from getting a flat floor in a foam board house. Patience and effort can overcome this. There's just one part of this project that confuses me. How does the ridge board's load transfer to the walls? If it's properly connected to the sloped boards of the gables, then it's fine. Otherwise, I think these joints should be reinforced. The sloped boards of the gables, being paired with the walls clamped between them, made of extruded polystyrene foam, act like sloped wall plates, distributing the load well. I have no questions about the rafter supports. They rest on wall plates, which distribute the load evenly along the walls. In my budget project, the $1,000 house, I used 3 cm-thick Penaplex for the walls. According to the manufacturer, its thermal efficiency is comparable to walls made of dry wooden beams with a thickness of 15 to 20 centimeters. Or brick walls over 2 bricks thick. Denis used 5 cm thick extruded polystyrene foam, comparable to a solid wood log or a brick fortress wall. We couldn't wait to test this in practice, so we're eager to help our young colleagues set up the heating. Denis promised to keep us updated on the construction process, and he even started his own YouTube channel just for this purpose. He called it Denis's Summer House Diary. I'll leave a link to it below the video. Be sure to subscribe so you can stay up to date on how the testing process is going. I hope Denis brings us more great projects. He's definitely someone to keep an eye on. On Batina Usadba, Konstantin's friend's channel, you can explore this information from a new angle, through cheerful Konstantin's eyes and camera. His channel also has a lot of useful and interesting information about ultra-cheap construction methods. Links are also below the video. Alright, let's go. Denis will also reinforce the roof with fiberglass mesh and plaster, just like the walls. And it's worth noting that heating the stove with unprotected extruded polystyrene is a very big risk. Sparks fly out of the chimney, which can fall and set the roof on fire. But I'm really curious to know how quickly a compact stove will heat up a building like this. That's why during the test heating we'll be extremely vigilant. There are no ex-firefighters, and Denis, knowing what not to do, is managing the pipe's passage through the roof.
Look, just a little more.
Hey, stop, back up.
The one hammered into the floor.
Friends, I want to remind you that you can support the ultra-cheap construction methods featured on the Yasha Kosyak Songs channel by using the sponsorship button on YouTube. Viewers from Russia can do this using the Boosty service. I'll leave the link below the video. Thank you in advance.
Keep smart people at a distance. Just observe from afar.
Wait, I'll throw it at him. Catch.
Go ahead, it's fine. These drops of dew are from the cold.
Damn, why did you turn me off?
Alright.
Ferum chimney.
My friend Konstantin fantasizes that one day his channel will become very popular and he'll be able to advertise anything on it.
Pests?
With the first smoke.
We're already hot down below.
Half the village will pass by today. They'll be shocked if smoke comes out here too. What? Now I have to take a look.
They didn't think to preheat the stove outside to stabilize the heat-resistant paint and ended up smoking up the room a bit. Go out, smoke, through the door. Go on, smoke, get out.
I'm leaving.
The master flash is temporarily fixed to the polystyrene foam. Even during the first short trial heating, we can see that even this compact stove should be enough for heating. And that's even without a door. Just imagine what it'll be like with a door. We noticed that videos featuring similar construction methods are appearing more and more often on YouTube. Because of this video platform's specifics, not all videos on valuable projects become popular or accessible to the public. So if you have a truly interesting and worthwhile project and you want more people to know about it, let us know. I'll leave my contact information below the video. The main criterion is original, ultra low-cost construction. It doesn't have to be made specifically from extruded polystyrene foam. Oligarchs, don't contact us. We won't review your expensive projects. We were surprised how Denis managed to fit the door hinges with just a knife, without a chisel. A real Rambo of our time. Maybe one day entire villages will quickly build houses from extruded polystyrene foam just as they once did with log cabins. In recent years, there has been a trend where residents of big cities sell their apartments and use that money to move and settle in rural areas. Village bloggers who praise this lifestyle also help popularize such actions. Not everyone can easily adjust to life outside the city, and for some, the move is stressful and difficult. I think efficient, low-cost construction is possible in the village without selling your city apartments. This is also demonstrated by Denis and Irina. Thus, not completely burning bridges with the city. And in case of a successful relocation to a new place, the city apartment will be a great asset. After all, it can be rented out profitably.
So you won't be my first resident here. The warm outline is ready. That's all for today. Now I need to close the door. I ask everyone to leave the room. This is temporary. These ones will go there too, all of them.
After spending the night in the owner's foam-insulated log house, we prepared to return home. Bhatia, my friend. But first we took the opportunity to visit the blogger's village, which is actually quite nearby. We'll visit Andrei, the main founder of the rural blogging movement. His channel is Derevensky Bloknot. He moved here from St. Petersburg and has lived a quiet rural life with his wife, Lyuba, for years. We're on the Riga-Moscow highway, but not heading to Moscow.
And not to Riga.
And where's the lake? Where's the lake? Over there? I've heard that some dishonest village bloggers practically stage their lives and their work. For Andrei and Lyuba, everything is real. What a beauty. It's beautiful here. Take my word for it. Don't just take my word, see for yourselves. Andrei is great. Yeah, just great. Really handy.
Actually, it was his wife who did it. I was pouring the steps, because at first I pushed the job and the stairs onto her, thought she could handle it, but she got tired on the first step. So Denis and I finished the rest. And especially the very last top big step, even for us it was tough.
Everything is built on a solid monolith. You can feel the quality. The owner is being modest, of course. Wow, that's something. Just like that.
Yes, it's like that in all government institutions.
We're uncultured Belarusians, and the building is just a rough log cabin, as I see it.
Yes,
How is it in use? Please tell me. Are you satisfied?
I'll be honest, since this is my first house, there's a wonderful saying. Burn your first house, sell your second, and only live in your third. So, I wouldn't burn this house. But to live in it comfortably, of course, you need to insulate it. So this isn't a complaint about log houses specifically, it's a complaint about my own clumsy hands. Unfortunately, when I was building it, I didn't know a lot and couldn't do a lot. This is my very first house. It needs to be insulated more from the outside.
You can use Penoplex. Apply it inside.
With Penoplex, of course.
Thank you.
You used to share great news. Back then it was very...
Andre, what in this beautiful house is made of Penoplex?
Good question.
The veranda is insulated.
So actually...
That's actually true. Of course, actually, we discovered this wonderful material for ourselves only recently, relatively recently. But the more we learn about it, honestly, the more I want to work with it. Because it turns out you can make anything out of it. So far, we've just used it modestly as insulation.
I see. Thank you for your honest answer. I have no more questions. Was it like that for you from the beginning?
He overwhelms me.
That's how we found out the truth? Is that when it started to show?
Basically, within the first half hour of us meeting,
The diagnosis is abuse, right?
he said, "You need me," and that's it.
He said it in a dominant way, that's right.
There was nowhere to go, because I was sitting in my car. I couldn't drive away from there.
I need your clothes to ride the motorcycle, right? Even though the house is made of wood. A 50.
And really, this is the greenhouse I built 2 weeks after I arrived here. In 2015, it's still the most productive one.
We also discussed some gardening nuances. With us again is our faithful companion, the autumn rain. We're leaving Russia, and now we're back home.
The E95 highway.
Looks like you and I miscalculated.
Why?
I don't know. We're not suckers. Suckers aren't us. Are you from this village?
GoPro, start recording. GoPro, start recording. I'm fed up.
We even imagined what it would be like if we became representatives of competing brands. It would definitely be fun. Secretly, Konstantin definitely loves Penoplex. More than anything else. You see the orange packaging. You can't compare it to the competitor. Torn, dirty. Here, take it. Or you could make a path. There's enough here for a 20-meter path. A pretty wide, nice new path.
Right. We'll give it to you, or rather I will. I'll give it to you, but... Yasha, damn, what is this? What is this?
Here's another one. Here's another one. He arrived,
What is this?
but we don't use it.
I oppose yours. Forget them.
Back to the water.
Give a big thumbs up. Subscribe to Yasha Koshak's songs channel and my friends' channels. Follow me on Zen, TikTok, and Instagram. Links are below. Don't forget to vote. Also, hit the bell, and then I'll definitely keep you informed. Let there be peace all over the world. Thank you. Constantine is secretly giving out foam board.
I'll go take it. Before they start fighting over there.